Are you hard stuck in silver or lower elo? Are you tired of losing games and precious LP? Do you want to improve and get to gold so you can get that shiny gold border and that sweet Victoria skin so your friends can stop calling you a noob? If your answer is yes, then this video is for you. I'm going to share with you how I got to gold in 16 days in this video. Now, to give you guys a little bit of a background story, I was hard stuck in silver with 309 wins. That's over 600 games total. And one day I was so sick of it, I was like, why am I not improving? What do I need to do to improve, to climb, to become better? Is it really because I get shit teammates, or I just suck major wee at the game? I decided that things have got to change, and 16 days later I successfully escaped silver. Here are a few things that I learned and how I did it. Tip number 1, watch replays. There are 2 types of replay you should watch: your own replays and high elo players replays. Watching your own replays really helps you see your mistakes better. It's really hard to see what you did wrong when you're playing the game. Hell, at the end of the game you probably forget what mistakes you make. When I started doing this, I cringed so hard when I rewatched myself play. I see things like, oh, I should have used flash here, or I hesitated to use TP there, or I should have split push here instead of picking a bad team fight. Stuff like that. Just give it a try. I promise you, you will cringe at yourself, but that's how you get better. Now, not making mistakes isn't enough. You gotta be able to do more. You gotta maximize the potential of the champion that you play, and you need to know what to do against certain matchup. And watching high elo players replays will help you improve with all of these. For example, I play GP, and like there are so many things that I learned from watching high elo Gangplank players. Like I didn't know that I could beat a Quinn 1v1 at level 1 as Gangplank, and I didn't know that I could do a double barrel combo where you have one barrel up, you shoot it, and then before it explodes you place the second barrel, and then both barrels will explode. So yeah, watch high elo players. That will help you improve a lot. Tip number 2 is pick a main role champion and get comfortable with that champion. What do I mean by comfortable? Being comfortable playing a champion means you play enough of that champion to the point where you don't have to constantly think about the abilities and movement of that champion. It sort of just becomes your instinct. It's like driving. You don't really pay attention to your hand steering the wheel. You kind of just do it. It's just an instinct. You just feel the car and you just drive. So same thing with being comfortable with a champion. Once you're comfortable with a champion, this will help you pay better attention to the current state of the game, like wave management, junglers patterns, objectives timers, macro plays, etc. Play that champ whenever it's available. If not, then play your secondary champion and do the same for your secondary role. So for example, I play Gangplank in the top lane whenever he's available, and if he's ever banned or picked, I go with Vladimir. And if I got put in my secondary role, which is jungle, then I go with Xin Zhao. Tip number 3, learn to carry feeders on your team. Now I'm gonna say something that all of you watching this video will agree. There is at least one feeder in most of your games, and here's why. Let's say you play top lane, and let's be generous and assume you always win your lane. You shit on your lane opponent and you just completely destroy him. Now that means your mid lane has a 50% chance of winning, and so does your bot lane. There are 4 scenarios that could happen with this. The first one is your mid lane wins and your bottom lane feeds. The second scenario, your mid lane feeds and your bottom lane wins. The third scenario is both lanes win, and the fourth scenario, both lanes lose. Now 3 out of 4 of these scenarios, there's at least one feeding lane. So what do you do about this? How do you deal with this? Well, first, win your lane. I was just being generous and make a generous assumption that you always win your lane, but I know a lot of you feed more often than not. So learn to win your lane. How do you win your lane? This varies because different champions have different winning conditions. The next thing you need to do is do not lose the games where you have the other 2 lanes winning, because LP is precious. Do not throw when you have good teammates. Now for the other 3, you should be winning at least 2 of them, which is when you have one winning lane and one losing lane. Learn to be impactful in those games. If you're playing a champion that's good at split pushing, then learn to split push effectively. If your champion is a team fight monster, then learn how to position properly, know which targets you need to kill first in team fight. This is the only way you can climb, because if you don't win in these two scenarios, you're either gonna be stuck or getting demoted. For the 25% of the games where you have both other lanes losing, just try anyway. I mean, throws can happen to the enemy team, especially in elo hell, so why not try anyway? If you win, great, you gain LP where you're not supposed to, which is awesome. But if you don't, then just know that no one has above 75% win rate. Just accept that it's an L you have to take. Tip number 4, do not argue with stupid teammates, or do not argue at all for that matter. When your teammates feed or make stupid plays, do not flame them. Don't give in to that temptation of calling them idiots, because one, that will do nothing, that will not make them like channel their inner faker and then suddenly win you the game. What's more likely is they're gonna get tilted from you shitting on them, and they're gonna play even worse. They're gonna be like, screw this guy, I'm gonna feed more now to make you even more mad. So don't make it worse by tilting them. Just know that you get feeders in most of your games from the previous tip that I gave you. Now, I know this is easier said than done, especially when they flame you, but arguing with them will not make them change. Let's say even if you win the argument and they submit to you and apologize and then install the game, there's likely gonna be another feeder who will reach in the next game. So arguing is pointless. It will only distract you from focusing on the game. The best way to deal with this is just to mute them. I never type in chat no matter how much they flame. Don't let their frustration control your moves or affect your performance for the rest of the game. It actually helps me a lot. Tip number 5, take breaks. They're really helpful, especially after the games where your teammates go 0-10. After 2 or 3 games, that's about like an hour and a half of sitting and staring at the screen. Take like a 10-15 minute break. Just stand up, stretch, drink some water, take a walk or something. It really helps you refresh your mind. I usually take my break after 3 games, and when I don't, I play with autopilot mode on and feed in my next couple of games until I get demoted or something and go to bed all sad. Now, I don't want to overwhelm you guys with too much information, so I'm gonna leave you guys with these 5 tips. Here's a summary. Number 1, watch replays, your own replay and high elo players replays. Number 2, pick a main role and champion. Play it whenever it's available. Number 3, learn to carry the feeders. And don't forget that having 2 winning lanes doesn't guarantee the win. You need to learn how to carry after the laning phase, whether it's split pushing or team fighting. Because if you don't carry, you will not climb. Number 4, don't tilt your teammates and don't get tilted. Mute everyone if you have to. And tip number 5, the final one, take breaks in between games to help you refresh your mind and not play with autopilot mode. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Check out my Project D4 playlist. I set my goal to reach Diamond 4 by the end of this season, and I just want to share that journey. I will commentate while I'm playing, and I look at the replays at the end of the games. Let me know in the comment what rank you're currently sitting at and what is your goal this season. Consider subscribing and hit the like button and the notification bell. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and good luck on your journey. GG.